Welcome to Rockit Garage, and today we're going to be working on my F150. It's been a while. If anything breaks here, it was broken before I got it.
Alright, tell yourself that.
Everything went as it should, except for the fact that this thing shifts really hard, and also sometimes it doesn't start when it's in park.
See if it'll do it again. Yep, there's first to second. Second to third, Jesus. Third to fourth.
Last time I worked on this truck, I was trying to fix the hard shifting problem. And I'm kind of thinking at this point that it's just got a really gnarly shift kit in it, because it shifts fine, it drives fine. But there's some obviously other things I want to go through, but definitely make sure the transmission's okay. Steering is kind of wonky, and years ago I bought a whole bunch of parts for this truck that I just never installed. So yeah, let's go through this truck one more time and see if we can't get it tip top. AC still works, nothing's leaking more than usual. Still has oil from sitting for a couple years. And it probably hasn't been a couple years, at least a year. Brakes are still good. Anyways, I'm really just making this an excuse to use my lift for the first time since I just got it installed. Mirrors, front differential for the re-gear, new grille, headlight bezels, gears, ball joints and stuff. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of stuff that I can throw on this thing. I want to do the mirrors first, that way before it goes on the lift. I'll already have that done because these things are broken. This one's not as bad, but this side is. This side's broken. T25s. Oh, that's tightening. Now, you would think that to take these mirrors off, you take these two screws and it would come off. Guess what? It doesn't. That is because someone from Ford thought it would be a great idea to put another screw inside. So you get a T15. In your armrest on the A-pillar. And then your door panel is really held in by plastic clips. Well, let's be honest, all mine are broken. And or missing. I'm gonna have to get new clips, and that's rotten. It's actually pretty rare that you still see the door sills on it, and that's probably going to be an 8 mil. Is it? Yeah. And that is what holds your mirror in on a 92 to 96 F150 or a 97 F250, 350 F-Series trucks. So there's one behind the door, so don't get mad when you can't get it off from the outside. Oh, look at that. Oh, this truck needs a bath. See, I knew this mirror wasn't for that truck. It's got power mirrors and the chrome. Obviously gave it away. But it's broken anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I've got the front hub torn down. Yeah, the dust cover's a little rusty, but I'm just kind of wire brushing and checking over everything and making sure bolts are tight and all that. These ball joints didn't seem bad. They weren't moving, so I'm just gonna grease them. I'm gonna replace this tie rod, and then we'll move on to that side and just move down the truck and just double check and just go over the whole truck, make sure everything's good, where it needs to be, functioning the way it should, and then hopefully I'll be able to drive this thing again. Got the tie rod installed, bearings repacked, everything's reinstalled. I, like a dumbass, broke that spline trying to get the axle nut off and forgot it was in there, and yeah. So there's the clip for it, there's the spline. I tried to run it off and I broke it. So I'm gonna have to order one for the other side because I stole it and put it all back together. Greased the ball joint, lower ball joint, greased that. Everything else looks pretty good. Kind of scuffed everything up. Get some of this rusty flake off. This tie rod definitely needs to be replaced. And maybe these ball joints, they just barely move. I might just let it ride for a little bit. I finally found what that little noise was. That's been annoying me every time I drive it. All right, see, it's always good to look at your stuff. Those are on there. Better than a new truck. Just as expensive and twice the unreliability. Is that how you say it? All right, I don't have the white truck in here. I'm gonna start working on my Bronco, but I wanted to show you guys a little update on the F150. So here's the old transmission that puked its guts out, and I've got the solenoid pack pulled out because I'm suspecting the solenoid pack is bad on the transmission that I put in the truck. So I pulled this one out, and I'm gonna run some tests and see if this one's good, because I really don't want to buy another one. This thing's been rebuilt. There's a date somewhere on it. I don't know. It's been rebuilt before, so hopefully they replace that, maybe. Crossing my fingers. I did run the codes on the F-150, and it's flashing a 642 or 624, can't remember, which is a solenoid pack circuit problem, which is either the wiring's messed up, the PCM's bad, the solenoid pack's bad, the connector's wrong, or wires are crossed, or whatever. Something electrically and into the solenoid pack. I don't suspect the PCM being bad, because before the transmission went out, it shifted great. And I'm gonna say that the solenoid pack in that, Facebook Marketplace find transmission that I got is probably bad, and is probably the reason why they pulled it out. And it has been 2 years of trying to figure out what this problem is. And I'm really hoping it's gonna be this. Valve body accumulator and the valve body out, because this gasket ripped when I took it out of the truck. So yeah, now I'm replacing the gasket. And you can actually do this with it still in the truck. Not really showing you guys a whole lot because I'm just trying to get this done. But we got the new gasket installed. I have a bolt in the front holding the separator plate, and the check balls are all still in the spot they need to be in. And all the holes are correct on the gasket. This is turning into a job here. Yeah, we're gonna throw the valve body and accumulator and the solenoid pack back in. And then we're gonna clean the pan throw it back together, rock and roll, hopefully. There's a difference. Here's the, I don't have my flashlight on me. Yes, I do. You can see that? How there's some pins that are blank. And this tested out fine. This one did as well, but there's different pins in there. I know this one worked in the last transmission. I know you should just go get a new one, but you know what? I'm trying to not dump my life savings into this damn thing, which it feels like I am, but that's okay. We're learning here. This is as far into an automatic transmission that I've probably ever been, and it's not that hard. Just trying to go through all the steps. So let me throw this in the truck and let's see if this fixed the hard shifting. If not, we're gonna have to do some backtracking into the wiring and the PCM and double check everything. So here's the pan after I dumped it out in the bucket. I'm gonna say that's a normal or acceptable amount of trash. It's a little bit on the magnet, but fairly clean. Who knows how old this transmission is, or if it was ever rebuilt by somebody. I don't think it's eaten itself alive, so that's a good thing. All right, sorry for the bad video, but do you see this? It's all destroyed. Bare wire, bare wire, bare wire. That is the red, the white and red, and the yellow, or white and yellow, or bare wire. I've already got the little red holder tab out. This thing still shifts aggressively hard. Solenoid pack checks out. New gasket for the throttle body, or the valve body. New fluid, topped up. Shifts hard. Cruise control works. Still coming up with a 624 or whatever code that was. I can't remember at this point. I'm gonna suspect it's going to be this. So let's tear this apart and let's pray this works, because it's been 2 years. I've been trying to figure this damn problem out. Anyways, let me tear this apart and see what else is wrong. All right, very crude. I did the butt splice. I did not like that. So then I repaired it. Repaired the other two wires with pulling back the wire, heat shrinking it, sticking it back in there. And they're all relatively where they need to be. I'm probably gonna go ahead and order a new harness if I can, but for now I'm just testing. Ended up not being able to find the 3-bolt auto hubs for this F150, so I went ahead and stole the lockouts for the Bronco, because luckily the 3-bolt setup is a direct replacement for the lockouts, and the 5-bolt is the one you need the adapter for, so these actually just went right onto the spindle. My truck from high school actually had the manual lockout, so I guess this would be a closer representation of the truck I had in high school. Now that they're not auto hubs, but I was kind of bummed out that I broke that little clip. And the moment y'all been waiting for, transmission still shifts hard. Replaced the pigtail to the solenoid pack, pulled the entire harness out and checked it. There was no braking in the rest of the harness. Checked the harness to the PCM. There was nothing wrong with that. Looked at the pins in the PCM. There was nothing wrong with that. The PSOM, I personally don't have a way to test it, but from everything I've read online, it's fine. The speedometer doesn't jump around when you're driving. If you're doing 60, it does 60. I mean, it might fluctuate up and down just a hair just because this truck has no power, so keeping it at the same speed is kind of hard. Doesn't jump. The odometer works. The speedometer works. On off for overdrive works. Cruise control works. And if you unplug the VSS, it throws a check engine light
and it does not like, you know, the speedometer doesn't like it. So everything is pointing to the fact that it's still somewhere in the transmission or the PCM. And I do understand that the speed sensor in the axle is sending signal to the PSOM, and the PSOM is actually sending it to the PCM. So there could be some, you know, disconnect between the PSOM and the PCM, which, I mean, I guess it could be. I don't think it is, because everything was working perfectly before this transmission went out. So this is where you check for the codes on this EEC test. You jump this wire over to here. Only code left in the computer is a 624, which is a EPC pressure control valve in the solenoid pack, which it's either an electrical failure from connector to connector, or it is the solenoid itself. So unfortunately, I have not solved the harsh shifting problem in this truck. And I'm at a loss because I have checked all of the wiring. I fixed some of the wiring that looked bad. You saw that clip. Put a new pigtail on that. Checked all the wiring. Pulled the PCM. The only thing I didn't do is obviously like get it checked or, you know, send it off somewhere. Totally could be the PCM. I don't think it's the PSOM because everything works. Or it could be the EPC pressure regulator in the solenoid pack. But I mean, everything tested fine. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. It's got transmission fluid. I've changed it twice now. New filter. Shifts fine. Drives fine. Like once you get in the gear, it's fine. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4. You can feel the torque converter lock up. It just shifts so hard. In reverse, 1, 2, not really into 3. The dilemma is these trucks are 30 years old. Literally 94, yeah, 30 years old. And everything on these trucks on forums and stuff are from 2008, 2009, when these trucks were still relevant. And every problem I have, let me say this, every problem that someone else has, I don't have the other symptoms. Like a jumping speedometer, or no cruise control, or a flashing overdrive, or speed sensor wrong, or, you know, I've read through so many forums. I can't even keep track. I need to figure out why the pressure control solenoid, the EPC, is not working properly. I am not an electronic transmission person. I've worked on them, but not diagnosing problems like this. And it's been 2 years, and now I'm just so fed up. I don't want to give up. I'm at the end of the ropes with trying to figure it out. I mean, every problem that I solve doesn't fix that problem. I thought I'd have it fixed by now, and I thought I'd be driving this truck all the time. So I just got to put this on the back burner for the winter and come back to it next spring, I guess. I've got too much stuff going on. And maybe I rebuild the transmission. I just don't want to if it doesn't need it. I'm only trying to replace parts that it needs. Someone smarter than me, let me know if you've solved this problem, because everything else works. The third brake light works. That's why the original transmission went out, because the third brake light was out and burnt up the torque converter, because it never locked up, because it always thought the truck was stopping. Good night for the winter, my dear love. I'm out of ideas. So we're going to come back to this in the spring. This video has been going on for like a year. I've worked on it, tinkered with it, pulled it out, drove it. Drives fine, transmission feels healthy. It just shifts so hard. And I don't want to, it shifts so hard, it feels like it's going to break a U-joint. So I've got to get that fixed. I know it's probably not good for the transmission to drive it like that, so I'm not going to drive it anymore. And we're just going to revisit the solenoid pack or the wiring or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to go through another 5 million forums that died in 2009. But if there is any E04 to E4OD, if there's any E4OD experts on 89 to 94 E4ODs, let me know. Why is it shifting so hard in reverse, first, second, sometimes third? Overdrive really doesn't do it. If anyone knows the reason that isn't everything that I've already said, let me know. I need to try something different because I don't want to buy a transmission if I don't have to. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. I know this was kind of a disappointing episode, probably for you, but probably more for me because I really want to just drive this truck and I need to fix the problem. And I'm probably not smart enough to figure the problem out, which is bumming me out because normally I can figure everything out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like and subscribing. This truck will be back one day. I just don't know when because I don't know when I'm going to get back to it. But I want to because I love driving this truck and I want to drive it again. See you on the next one.